Start whenever I want. All right, so this is from bartending to nerdtending. It's kind of an updated version of the talk that I give at PPW with a lot less of my life story in it. But I used to be a bartender. One of my favorite things is one day, it's a great story to tell. The pirate came into my bar. He was a little worse for wear, peg leg, hook for a hand, eye patch, and all that. And I love talking to my customers. So I asked him like, "Dude, how'd you get the hook and all that?" He's like, "You gotta buy me drinks, and I'll tell you the story." And I'm like, I comped him around, and he starts telling me the story. He's like, "I was swashbuckling with the Prince of Spain. He went left, I went right. I took his life, but he took my arm." And I was like, "That's awesome. Dude, how'd you lose the leg?" He's like, "Another round." I'm like, "All right." So I buy him another round, and he's like, "It was a dark and stormy night." I'm like, "Really?" That's kind of cliche. It's like, it was a dark and stormy night, and the ship was tossing and turning, and I got flung overboard, and a shark bit off my leg. Really? That's kind of awesome. How'd you lose the eye? He's like, "Another round." I'm like, "Jesus." So I buy him another round, and he's like, "I was walking down to my ship, looking up at the sun, and a seagull pooped in my eye." You lost your eye because of seagull poop? It's also my first day with the hook. Yeah, but this is what I learned about management from being a waiter. Most of you already know me. My name is Mark. I go by Trog online or Trg404 on Twitter. Some of you may have actually heard some dirty rumors about me. They're probably true. But this talk, yeah, I know, who has an orc this talk is, I'm going to use some dirty words in it, like Agile, and Scrum Master, and servant leadership, just to name a few. I'm sorry, they're dirty words, and I know nobody wants to hear about them. But I've gotten some strong opinions when I come out to this stuff, like, it's like running into a crowded bar or saying System D around a bunch of nerds. All you're going to have is hate. But this is some things that I did learn. So this is an Agile talk. But it's an Agile talk-ish, because what I'm going to be talking about is what I learned from being a waiter and how it taught me to be a better servant leader. So it's more about tech management and how tech managers are actually waiters, and how a Scrum Master is actually just a waiter. Right now I'm living in Houston, Texas. I was living in Orlando. That's probably where if you guys recognize me, is I was at last year's YAPSI. And I was bartending at the Smiling Bison. And right after the talk, I applied at cPanel for their Scrum Master job, and within 2 months, I'm moving out to Houston, grabbing my fiance, and she's complaining about where will she ever find a place to ride horses. We're moving to Texas. But yeah, I now work at a cPanel and the obligatory, and I was working at the Smiling Bison, also the obligatory. But I had been working probably 5 or 6 years in waiting positions and serving positions, just doing things like that. I started off as a line cook on a street cart, and then I worked my way up to a line cook on a food truck. That's right, I worked the roach coach, and then got a job working as a bar manager, then an assistant manager at a different bar, and just eat, slept, and breathed service industry. I loved it. I mean, if you want to talk about drudgery and awesomeness all wrapped together, 12-hour stints, standing on your legs, having 3 seconds to eat, I loved it. I loved every minute of it. But it hurts. I mean, it takes a toll on your body. But why do you guys care? What does this have to do with you? You guys are not Scrum Masters. You're not servers. You're not line cooks. But you do have to deal with people. And one of the best ways to deal with leading people, I find, is servant leadership. And servant leadership can be defined on Wikipedia by a big, long thing that I'm not going to read. Or, more simply, not being a dick. Letting people and assuming that people know what they're doing, and not exercising your power even though you're in charge. And I want to teach you guys how to learn more from just taking what I've learned, taking what you guys have, what other people have taught, and then what you guys can teach yourself. That's what I'm hoping to do in this talk. Because serving, basically, if you're going to serving is I literally, this is going to be fun with the camera, I take a drink, I give it to somebody. That's serving. That's my job. More than that, and that's just fishing for a tip. But serving well is rather hard. Serving well and making people understand that you actually care about them, that you gave them the service that they were looking for, whether or not it's just delivering a drink or going the extra step and making somebody's dinner worthwhile. That's really hard to do. The first thing that you need to learn, though, and the key to being the best manager, I think, and the key to being the best at anything is don't take yourself too seriously. I mean, my job is to watch other people do work. I watch developers do developing. I don't I don't have to touch a computer. I just say, hey, do what you're being paid to do. And they pay me to do this. This is awesome. Again, hiring. But that's the first tip on that is don't take yourself too seriously. I mean, if you're serving, your job's to deliver food. Oh no. Also, the next big one, though, is don't be afraid to clean a toilet. My job is to watch you do work. So if you guys need me to go down and like the toilet's broken, you bet my happy butt's going to be going down there and making sure that you guys can poop back to doing your job. No, it's a well-learned lesson. I mean, you guys are being paid to do a simple thing, help other people. If you're a servant leader, you're being, help people. Help them with whatever they need to do, including cleaning a toilet if it needs to be done. But there is a fine difference between leading and doing. Leaders are not doers. Don't do a project that your team can do for you. That's another thing that many of the people that I do Scrum Master for will realize is I say, if you guys want something, you guys have to put in the ticket, you guys have to go and talk to the people, and I can push it through, but I don't do things for them. I help them do things for themselves. And that's a big thing with being a servant leader or a server. The big one that I got is I like to be called an Agile coach now instead of a Scrum Master. It sounds better. But one of my favorite quotes about it is those who can do. So the programmers do. Those who can't teach. And you teach the people that don't. And then those who can't teach, they coach. That's why I prefer Agile coach. But I don't even know why I wrote that. I've cleared my schedule. But you need to do whatever needs doing. No job's too small, and cut your ego out of it. Just because you're a manager doesn't mean that you're not afraid to clean a toilet. Every restaurant has a bunch of roles in it, and every company, I think, has the same thing. When you're working in the front of a house, there's a general manager, there's a front of house manager, there's a bar manager, there's servers, and it's pretty easy peasy because it's a straight down line. It's a waterfall kind of everybody sucks all the way down. On the back end, though, in the back of house, it's not so easy to figure out. This is a general back of house layout, and this is a simple one. In this, though, I say the back of house is a lot more like a tech management company. And one of the first things you need to do, and you need to ask yourself, what's the most vital position in this entire company? What's the most vital position in this chart right here? Somebody take a guess. Sous chef. Anybody else? The dishwasher is the most vital role. And any company and anything, if you didn't have a dishwasher, the restaurant closes. No dishes, no clean food. You're getting out. You either have the EPA on your butt and the health inspector, or you're closed for the night. It's also the least paid position. So that most vital position is the one that you need to make sure respects you enough. And ask yourself, who's the dishwasher at your company? Go through your lineup. Go through everybody that you manage, everybody that you don't manage, and figure out who's your dishwasher. And see what you can do to make their job better. And most of the kitchens, the dishwasher dictates how everything runs. I'm pretty big on this one. The next one that I always say is I say my developers are like my line cooks. They're grungy, they're pissed off usually, they're drunk more often than not, and they curse like sailors, just like the back of house. Yeah, I know both of you. I got two of them right there. But they're also very good about, this is one of my favorite quotes from a buddy of mine, but they're also creatures of habit. They're also big on, let me know what the problem is, that way I can make it. I had a couple of times where there was a peanut allergy or something like that at a table, and instead of saying just no peanuts, I'd go back there and like, hey, there's a peanut allergy at this table. And they'd be like, oh, well, they ordered something completely cooked in peanut oil, so no. And letting them know what the problem is to have them help you solve it is a lot better than just dictating rules. They're also set in their ways. They're also drunk. They do curse at you. And there will always be problems with them. Or if they hate cilantro. That was another big one. People who hate cilantro, you always have to like let the kitchen know about that one. I don't know what that has to do with tech, but just a thing. My third tip on this one, don't show off or don't show anything on that one. You can either be a great actor or you can genuinely have an optimistic outlook and just be one of those like really nice people, but you should never let your customers see you sweat. Never let your team see you sweat. And the two ways of doing that is one, either fake it, like, become this great actor and never show emotion to anybody at work, or genuinely have a great optimistic outlook on life. And I think that's complete and utter bullshit because I hate those people. Optimists really get me because I'm like, I can't figure that one out, so I just kind of fake it until it comes out there. And one of the greatest lines on that one is, the secret to success is sincerity. Once you fake that, you got it made. Now that I've shown you links from like what I've done, here are some tips from actual like servers and stuff like that, and what I think that they do or how they help in the tech world. Everybody likes a smile, so don't let anybody enter without a warm greeting, and don't show your frustration. You have a good attitude at work. Your job is to help your team, nothing more, nothing less. Your work is enough. If you find a job, if your job is a manager, it's your job to help. It doesn't matter if you're a team or if it's somebody else's team. Just help. Drink orders are rather tricky. Up means chilled, strained means no ice. Straight up can mean neat, which is chilled, but make sure that you know that your team has a set standard. Make sure that you are on the same page as your team on what everything means. That way you're not running around for circles trying to figure out how to fix something that's not broken. What are some things that should be in place before anybody can work, before anybody can get anything done? The table shouldn't be, work or wonky. The computer should be set up if you have some developers. There should be electricity. There should be plumbing. Little things that help. Make sure those things are done. It's your job to make sure those things are done, or at least that somebody's working on them. Sometimes helping them to fix it may not involve you. Check your ego a little bit, and if you need to find somebody else, have them help themselves and learn how to do the skill. Don't just fix it for them, have them fix it themselves. That's a big one. Take notice of the not-so-subtle cues, investigate, and see how you can help. Meddling for efficiency isn't that bad. I do make a point to go in and try to meddle with my teams. Not as much as I should, but guess what's changing? They're going to hate me. Blame is a waste of time. That's a big one for me, too. It doesn't matter who broke the code. It doesn't matter. Just fix it. You can go back and you can ridicule them later, but right now, just fix your code. Look somebody in the eyes and give them the respect that they deserve. If you're going to have to fire somebody, do it to their face. Don't give them an email. If you have to yell at somebody, do it to their face. Don't do it over Skype. I mean, take the time and actually be there in person with somebody. Don't judge a person on the way that they do their job. If it's working for them and it doesn't hurt the project, let it be. Don't judge how somebody else works. You're not done with the code till it's end of life. Maintenance of code is just as important as its release. Your opinion only matters if they ask, and even then, it probably doesn't matter. So check your ego a little bit. No, this one's just fine as it is. Don't touch people. That's gross. Keep your hands to yourself. And so we've talked about how your workplace is like a restaurant, complete with line cooks, dishwashers, and a general manager. But what are some ways that you can learn more? What are some more tips, and how can you get to them? Well, wherever I go, and whatever I do, and what I do now, I say go out to eat. Tonight when you guys are at the restaurant, check out your server and see what they're doing. Critique them. And I'm not saying don't tip them, that's completely dick. I'm just saying sit down and see what they're doing. Consider the entire life cycle of your meal. If when they sit down, if when you're sitting down at the table, that's the beginning of your project, they come up and they introduce themselves. Did they do it nicely? Did they kind of make you feel like they were just hurting on it? But yeah, don't be France on it. Don't give them like a 6. Sorry, Nico. But yeah, don't give them like they did horrible at everything. It was a 6. They're not getting a tip. But split up the meal a little bit. Take it in pieces. Did they smile at you enough? Did they make it off-putting? Is there something that you could take from that and use it into your management style? See what they're doing right. I had a time at Olive Garden recently where this girl talked about her boyfriend the entire time she was with my table. And it was the most awkward thing because apparently they'd gone through this messy breakup and it was horrible. And I'm like, this is a lot of oversharing. But she was great under pressure with the rest of it. Like she overshared our table, but there was like a fire in the kitchen and she was just whatever. And it was great how she could compartmentalize almost everything. I mean, except for her home life to the table. But she did a great job of, making sure our order was taken care of, talking to the people in the back and getting everything done. Questions on the menu. Did she know her stuff? Do you guys know your product well enough? Could you catch her in a lie if she was lying about the menu, if you asked a question and she didn't know? I'm a big proponent of, I don't know, let me go find somebody, but some waiters are not. What else can she have done? What else can you have done that isn't like that Olive Garden experience? Another big one that you're going to have, the one that I had on a personal note, is you have to battle your imposter syndrome. When I went from bartending to nerdtending, I had a huge problem with imposter syndrome. It was months of it, and if you haven't heard of imposter syndrome, it's where I just don't belong. They're going to figure me out, and they're going to kick me out of cPanel. I had that for like 6 months, just every day. I was like, well, I'm getting fired today. And then I noticed that my job was really similar to what I was doing, and that was really helpful. I'm still getting dirty. I'm still trying to get them to help themselves. I'm pretty patient with my teams. I communicate a little bit better. I'm always learning. And what am I doing right now that I could be better at that this server has taught me something? I was trying to drink in the talk, but since you can't bring alcohol, it's out of the bar. Anybody have any questions or anything like that? I've only got a few minutes. Carefully. With the margarita machine that we should be getting soon. Yeah. Any comments, any tips? I mean, you can also tip 20% to the Scrum Master. Chris, just saying. All right. If you guys like the talk again, my name's Mark. I go by Trog online. I'm Trg404 on Twitter. If you guys hated the talk, however, my name is Chris Prather. I go by Peregrine online. And just all the hate to him. All right, thanks, everybody. Steven's still in here?